let us move ahead in building in the risk culture. First step towards building in the risk culture is to understand risk appetite. We all have a risk appetite, which some of us know and some of us have not accepted it. Our behavior to accept certain solutions will be based on the risk appetite that we have, or the organization has, or the entrepreneur has, or the trainer has. So in ERM, Enterprise Risk Management Standard, I've taken this from there. There are 3 categories that they have put in of risk tolerance or risk appetite, which we say so. Low appetite for risk means risk averse. A consultant, trainer, training company, or an entrepreneur is unwilling to take any kind of risk knowingly. In such a scenario, we say they have a very low tolerance risk. For example, the trainer does not expect any negative feedback. Even a single negative feedback will hurt him, or the emotional quotient will be visible. So he is a risk averse person, or a company, training company, wants to be in the top 5 list. They wouldn't like to have any negative response from their respondent. So risk averse. Next is moderate appetite, that is risk neutral. A consultant, trainer, training company, or an entrepreneur is willing to expose itself to measured risk in their respective area of work when the risk taken is based on a favorable cost benefit analysis to meet their objectives. These are organizations or individuals or entrepreneurs wherein their tolerance level is measurable. They put a measurable tolerance level. So in that such a scenario, for example, the trainer will expect a favorable feedback from 95% of the respondents. This is what an example that I put in. Right? So he's putting a measure, or you can say a training company will expect nothing less than 10% as revenue on income. Right? So these are whenever you have a moderate appetite, your tolerance, it's called risk neutral. So you're a balanced personality, or the organization is balanced. They measure their tolerance level based on which they will put in their scores or their achievable goals. Large appetite for well thought out risk and failure, known as risk seekers. In our community, we'll find a very few of us falling in this category. Though a consultant, trainer, training company, or an entrepreneur is willing to expose itself to more risk in their respective area of work and is able to tolerate a degree of loss or failure. So let us take a training company as an example. Suppose a training company is gone for a deal. They've gone for a deal, and their target was 10 schools. Let's say they're dealing with science kit for schools. The target was only 10 schools, but during the negotiation, they found a referral partner and they were able to crack 20 schools. Now, in such a scenario, they are ready to compromise on the overall pricing, which will affect their immediate cost, but the overall return on a long run would be high. Based on that, they are a risk seeker. In organizations, investment department, treasury department, they will be working on this model as whenever they investing on high returns, they normally accept a degree of loss during the start with the perception or analysis. The analysis are normally based on data. All these factors that we are going to learn today is based on data. It is not on subjective basis that these scores or analysis have to be created or prepared or arrived at. It is normally based on past data or market study. So there is, as I explained, now I've given you all example based on a trainer, training company, or an entrepreneur. Risk appetite can be based on culture also. I am from the north, so my culture wise, I might be a little more risk. My tolerance level will be a little more than what people from south perceive too. It's just an example, need not be. Or based on past experiences, my appetite, I have built my appetite to being risk averse. Based on situations, as I said, I have targeted only 10 schools, but I've got 20 schools. Based on current scenario, most of us would have a thought process and we might fall in the category of risk averse for certain parameters like operational cost, so on. End of the day, none of these can be termed as not good practice. It all depends on my appetite, my vision statement, our vision statement that the appetite might work favorable or not favorable. Let us go forward. Once you have arrived at a risk statement, let us create a risk statement based on specific parameters. Risk appetite statement based on specific parameters. As per ERM, there are many parameters: reputational, financial, operational, strategical, compliance, information security. So I have taken only 3 over here, which are will be commonly used by us: reputational, financial, and operational. So based on my risk appetite statement in the previous slide, I have given an example for reputation, risk appetite statement. As a trainer, this is my appetite. The trainer will expect a favorable feedback from not less than 95% of the respondent. So that means I am neutral. Moderate tolerance is a category that I fall in. We fall in. In financial, I have put it as return earned should not be less than 10% of the investment. And in operational, I have arrived at the statement as operational expenditure should be less than 40% of the total revenue earned or total income earned. For a trainer, it will be total income earned. This could be used in our personal calculations also. Coming to this, you should understand these statements have been arrived after analyzing data. For example, 40% operational expenditure. It will be based on last, if he or she is calculating, it will be based on their last 4 or 5 years expenditures income. It is suggested that we all have a financial statement, a simple financial statement with our assets, liabilities, income, expenses, which gives us a clear analysis of our expenditure is need basis or on our requirement basis without seeing how much is the income earned. And you could relate it in today's scenario. So if it becomes a practice, it is not difficult for us to handle any risk forthcoming. Coming to this slide, these statements should not be subjective. It should have a measure. Whenever you have objectives with a measurement, you are more focused on your goals. You achieve your goals faster and without any distraction. We always say sales team is always recognized better than the operations team, more than the operations team. Basically because they are KRIs or KPIs are based on very measurable. But in operations also you could do that by putting a measurement to your achievements or giving an objective value to your achievement.